All right, friends, if you're thinking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, or even if you already live here, you might be basing everything you know about this town on information that is not true anymore. And Charlotte has changed fast, and if you're still using outdated info to make big decisions, you could be in for a really rude surprise, especially when it comes to home prices, traffic, and where you live, and maybe raising a family. So stick around because some of these myths about Charlotte might totally flip your expectations, and I feel like number 6 and 7 are really going to shock a few people. So stick around for that, but go ahead and pause, because if you need help on your real estate journey, whether that's buying, selling, or investing in a home, whether that's in our market or wherever you're from or live, go ahead and reach out via the phone number on the screen right now. Give me a call, shoot me a text. I love connecting with people off of my YouTube. It's super cool to connect that way. So go ahead and do that now. Go ahead and save my number to your phone if you ever have any real estate questions. Happy to help however you need. So let's go ahead and start with myth number 1, which is that Charlotte is super affordable. Is this true?
I mean, maybe if you live in La La Land.
I will say this for perspective, though.
The price of La La Land.
Yeah, I have some clients moving, or actually they're buying a second home in Charlotte, and they live in Orange County, California. And it is absolutely, it feels like they're, the home prices here are chump change, which is true. But just because places like New York, California, Atlanta have super high prices, does not mean Charlotte is affordable or cheap.
Those are like those are abnormally high prices.
Yeah.
For anywhere in the world.
And the crazy thing is this myth that Charlotte is super affordable, because it used to be, maybe, this actually used to be one of the main reasons that people relocated here, because of the low cost of living. And you could still find houses that were under $250,000, but not true anymore. The median home prices, 2024 to 2025, is hovering around $420,000 plus in some areas. Obviously, some cheaper suburbs are lower. And yeah, overall, multiple Charlotte suburbs are pricing out a lot of first-time home buyers, especially in South Charlotte and anywhere near the city. Yeah, but I would say that a lot of locals even think that Charlotte is kind of like the new Atlanta. I was actually just talking to a local Atlanta guy 3 weeks ago, and him and his family have lived in Charlotte a while now, but he said that Charlotte now is basically what it felt like in Atlanta 25 years ago. So that's just where we were, but that's myth number 1. Myth number 2, Charlotte does not have any real culture. Now this is Charlotte's old reputation, because yes, it used to be very corporate, maybe sterile, not really have any personality, kind of a city without a soul. But now I would say there's a lot more going on. There's more of a local identity than there used to be. I think it's
trendy.
Yeah, I think it still has a long way to go in terms of, getting to the point where it's as like nationally recognizable as Nashville, or maybe, I don't know, another like city like Chicago or whatever. But it's gotten a lot more identity in the last 4 or 5 years, especially. And yeah, you have tons of creative neighborhoods like Noda, Plaza Midwood, South End. There's tons of murals, local coffee shops, local dining, and there's festivals, there's Camp North End, you have live music, food halls, food trucks. I mean, it's a real cultural epicenter now compared to what it used to be. And yeah, the art scene and indie music community are growing fast too. I mean, we love...
It's like a big music festival with, big name pop singers that they started, I think, last year. So I don't think we really had stuff like that before.
Yeah, and the other big part of Charlotte's identity is all the cool historic downtowns near Charlotte. I mean, there's tons of really cool Charlotte suburbs that have these cute little trendy downtowns that in and of themselves, they have their own identity, but I think it adds to the culture and history of Charlotte and its national, or not national, but kind of like, city identity supposedly. But I think the food identity alone is have its own video. There's tons of brewery options, there's international food festivals, rooftop brunches, all kinds of stuff, no matter what, phase of life you're in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I see really any kind of cultural food you can get, like Asian food, Indian food, American foods, there's French bakeries and like really any kind of like country or culture. I feel like you can find a restaurant for if you're craving. Now, I can't guarantee that it's going to be like good or authentic. I don't know, because I'm not from every country of the world, but if you are, maybe you should check them out.
So myth number 3 is, I quote, Uptown is dead after 5 p.m. So I think this used to be true.
Like 10 years ago.
Yeah, because it was just bankers and office workers. Then after 5 p.m. it was just tumbleweeds. You just go to like a nicer area or more of a trendy outside part of Charlotte around to get, kind of the, I guess, I don't even say it's nightlife, just brewery and, drinking and shopping and dining life. But now there's residential towers everywhere, people walking dogs at night, there's bars, rooftop places.
Lots of apartments.
Yeah.
Some more people.
restaurants that are packed. There's just a lot to do. You know, there's tons of live events now in Uptown all the time. Sports games. There, Charlotte Panthers are in Uptown. You have the Charlotte Knights in Uptown as well. They are the Charlotte Panthers.
They basically are because their stadium is literally right in downtown Charlotte.
Oh, they're the Carolina Panthers. But yeah, I mean, whether you're a family, a young professional, empty nesters, a lot of people are choosing to live in Uptown now because there's a ton to do, a ton going on. And Uptown feels a lot more alive now than it used to. Now, before we dive into the next myth about Charlotte, let me ask you this. What is something you thought was true about Charlotte, North Carolina before visiting or moving here, only to find out it was completely wrong? I don't know. I thought it was probably less traffic. Maybe not as much to do. I think because I moved from the Midwest, but there's tons of stuff to do. There's stuff always going on compared to the Midwest.
Like, it seems like there wouldn't be because it's a smaller city.
Yeah. So go and
joy of Charlotte.
Yeah, so go ahead and drop that in the comments below. We want to hear what surprised you about Charlotte when it comes to expectations versus reality. Myth number 4 is that Charlotte has no real public transit. So yeah, this used to be a major drawback because if you didn't have a car, you were kind of stuck. I would say it's still growing a lot. There's not like a huge subway or, you know, crazy system that brings you from A to B everywhere. But the Lynx Blue light rail line is a game changer. That connects a lot of places to different places in Charlotte, like University City, the South End. More expansions are coming as well. You know, the goal is eventually to make it kind of like a subway. You can park in a parking lot in less crazy parts of Charlotte, and then, you know, just take the light rail into Charlotte, which is super cool. The Silver Line is also in the works. That's gonna add a lot more connectivity too, but still not like New York City or Chicago, obviously. But the bus system is improving. It's growing a lot. But basically, you know, it's growing a lot, and it's become much more connected in terms of, you know, public transport. So the light rail is a huge bonus, especially for appreciation, as you know, it's going to be definitely a spot where a lot of people are going to live near as you know, Charlotte grows and expands. All right. Myth number 5 is that you have to choose between North Charlotte and South Charlotte. And there used to be a clear divide between these two because in the south part of Charlotte, you had really nice suburbs and areas like South Park, the Quail Hollow area, and Myers Park, and the
private schools are.
Yeah, exactly. But the north was a lot more rural, maybe had higher crime, was a bit overlooked. But now a lot of parts of East Charlotte and even the west side is booming a lot more than it used to. And even places like Noda, Highland Creek, University City to the north of Charlotte are a lot more up and coming than they used to be. There's tons of stuff to do, tons of great homes and communities there. And
build it up.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to build up Charlotte in general.
Exactly. And
which is a good thing.
Yeah, South Charlotte is a lot more in demand still. But I think all of Charlotte is in demand right now. So
you can get anywhere in Charlotte. It's like
yeah, Valentine is South Charlotte, and that's still a super in demand area. But a lot of areas are increasing to that point as well now. So yeah, it's not just north or south or east or west or different parts of Charlotte anymore. It's about lifestyle preferences. So whether you prefer something more urban, maybe a more artsy, historic downtown, that's more what you're going to look for now rather than just, you know, deciding between two options. So that's a myth. All right, myth number 6 is that Charlotte traffic is not that bad. Is that true?
Yeah, maybe compared to like India.
I don't know, maybe India traffic is bad. Long story short, this used to be one of the main selling points of Charlotte was that, you know, people were escaping the traffic of LA and DC, New York and Atlanta.
No, you've got it all here. By moving.
But and it's still a lot better than those places. But it is not, you know, it's not that there's just no traffic anymore. I mean, you used to drive across Charlotte in like 30 minutes to different places.
25.
Yeah, that same drive is probably like 40, 45, 50 minutes now. Yeah, another thing too is that there's this construction going on everywhere. Even on the exit we live on now in Fort Mill, they're just completely redoing the exit, which is basically just them trying to keep up with the, you know, growth. Infrastructure is just behind. So they're trying to pick that.
Behind. They're like fixing it after everything's been expanded, but they should have bought it before.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's another myth. Charlotte traffic is something to consider. But yeah, myth number 7 is that Charlotte is all transplants, no locals. But yeah, basically, I think Charlotte used to be called like a city of strangers because all the locals moved out and a bunch of people moved in.
I guess kind of doing that again.
But I mean, I've been a lot of locals. There's still a lot around, and I think more and more locals are staying or coming back. Many transplants have become deeply rooted. People are building communities, starting families, investing in long-term living. And the blend of the old and new is kind of part of what gives Charlotte its identity and charm today. Yeah, so as someone who moved to Charlotte years ago, relocated here 6 years ago from the Midwest, who married a local Charlotte native, yeah, I've seen, we've kind of seen seeing this shift. I mean, obviously there's a lot of transplants and relocators, but there's still quite a few locals that we know and have met. So yeah, I think for me personally, Charlotte feels more like home every year. I think it felt like home kind of when I first moved here. But yeah, friends, all in all, Charlotte has changed in big ways. Some for better, some are a lot more complicated, and Baby has something to say about it.
Yeah, is there anything about
So yeah, what you thought you knew 5 to 10 years ago might not help you today. In fact, it might be outdated information. So make sure you know what's actually going on, what's actually true about Charlotte and
Well, you gotta
Carolina.
talk on these guys.
Yep, talk to the agents, because we know we're special agents. And I'm Special Agent James Claunius, not Bond. So yeah, if you're thinking about making a move in the Charlotte area or the Carolinas, whether that's relocating, buying, selling, or investing, I would love to be your guide. Go ahead and reach out via the phone number on the screen. Shoot me a text or give me a call, whether you're in my market or not, whether you have just a general real estate question or something specific about one of the Charlotte suburbs. I love hearing from people that connect with me via my YouTube channel. I get calls and texts every day about real estate. So go and do that. Save my number, and also be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this one about the Carolinas, about real estate, money, finance, and everything in between. And other than that, we hope you have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching, and look forward to connecting with you soon.